Hi folks, back to oil painting. I'll do one for you and I'll do one for Patreon. I try and, if you're getting into oil painting and you like the idea of MDF, this is 2mm and I use for larger size paintings to 3mm. They've both got different surfaces when they're rubbed down. Well, the gear that I'm using from the supplier, the wholesaler. The 2mm MDF is mainly used for backing paintings, watercolours. It's very hard, very tough, really tough, and snaps. It doesn't bend. It's got a low bending point, but it's extremely hard. It's compressed fibre, compressed cellulose, I suppose. And when it's quite a job to rub down. I get a bit of a tooth on the surface, but it's very lightweight. It's very good. I used to paint on 5mm MDF, and by the time you've got a frame around it, it literally pulls the wall down. It's so heavy. So this is very light. The 3mm is easier to cut. It's easier to sand, and when you put your PVA primer on it, or your gesso, it raises the surface, so you get a nice rough tooth. But a great stuff in it nonetheless. So we've got here cadmium red, ultramarine, red ochre, Payne's grey, cadmium yellow, pale and yellow ochre. I'm going to make up a scene. It's going to be a simple landscape. I'm going to use these posh brushes. I will use my rough brushes, my cheapos, but they're good. They're good brushes. They do different things. Just looking out to find one. Okay, well I'll use that 1.5 inch one. But I'll use these for the trees and the finer detail. We'll see how we get on. Whatever I use will be okay for this. So I'll draw a bit of a meadow in. Let's have a sort of a hill, just in case you want to put a bit back. But have a bit of light through the middle there, I think. But a big tree here, and some larger or smaller ones, but larger than the background here. But I'll go over all this with the paint, no doubt. Okay, get my brush. I've got some linseed oil with a few drops of fast drying oil thrown in. There we are. My palette's getting, my little lid is getting a bit old now. But you don't want a lot of oil. I don't want it swimming with oil. So let's have a blue sky for a change. Oh, that's ultramarine's gone a little bit dry. Well, I only did one yesterday. A watercolour. Well, I did the bike ride and I didn't really feel like doing very much. Ooh, a bit of red in that. Keep away from that, I think. It's pointless doing an elaborate drawing on this. Different with a bit of pen, but it's just an idea, just a little sketch, just to remind myself where I'm going with this. Let's clean the brush. Got a bit of toweling here. Got my cup of tea, so I must drink that. Don't try to start off with a finished painting, or in other words, just work all the way around, build it up all over. With the fast drying oil, it will tend to dry, go a bit tacky, So just use that oil just to well, I can't remember what I was going to say there. Age. But the bike ride was very nice yesterday. It's a lot of people out with bikes, as were we. I won't put a pond in this one. It's a bit of a meadow. I don't want to go too high with it, with that horizon. Just clean the brush with a bit of towel. Okay, let's see a bit more of sky now. Touch of oil. Okay, lovely. Coming on nicely. Something to work over. And some of the colour of the board is showing through. When this dries, it might sort of dry in, so you can lift it out with a bit of retouch varnish or even a coat of oil. But the oil takes quite a long time to dry, so I mix it with a bit of dryer. Right, let's get a bit of a now it's quite thin. I want some of that to show through the trees. A bit of blend in there, a touch of red. Why not? No, we don't want any hard lines in the sky. We want soft, soften. You can change stuff so quickly with oil painting. I don't want to do too much behind here. Okay, let's get a bit of that bluey colour here. Okay, so I'm going to leave that. That's all I'm going to do on that. Right, now I'll get one of these, what do they call this one, a bright. That's a bright, and that's a flat, and that's a bright. You told me the difference between those two. They're graduate Data Rowney brushes. They're good. They weren't cheap. They're good ones. I bought these from the range when they had a decent art section. It's now been sacrificed for an in-store Iceland frozen freezer type place, which we do use. We've got a local one here, so we go there. Used to be the old Woolworths. Okay, let's put in some background colours, bit of panes, bit of blue. We'll put a bit of yellow in that. This richer, made a little richer, bit of red in it. Okay, there's a bit of distance here. I'll probably need to come up a bit higher with that one. I'll get a bit of shadow in underneath. I might change that ultramarine in a minute. Who's that? I'll get that sort of light colour there. Okay. Just trying to counter change. Okay. Now we're going for the big one here. So you don't want to make your trees the same size both sides. You need one large, one small. If you're going to split the picture as I've done, I might change and put a bit of that light back through there. Let's try blue, red, and do you know, I still prefer my bristles. He said as he bristled, bit of difference, isn't there? But I really do like these brushes. They're darker there, really. It's what you get used to as much as anything. Just soften around there. I can stipple back. Oh, well, maybe. Let's try this one. I like that one. Just mix the primaries with a bit of light. No, that's better, isn't it? It's coming on. We've got some darker green in there. Get some air in there. Right, okay, go back with a bit of that sky colour, just a yellow ochre, and white. Put in some light. Oh, my head's not getting in the way. A bit of that blue, a bit of red. Well, I want a bit more green in that, I think. Right, let's go back and do some stuff on this side here. Let's change that. Here. I might use a rigger to do some stuff in there. Okay, that's a bit of a lump, isn't it, at the moment? So maybe let's get some darker green in there. Bit of stipple. Okay, let's get some darker green. It's great fun texturing with these cheap brushes because they've got so many points on them, and we're not doing sort of fine stuff here, are we? Let's right, now green, Payne's grey, and yellow pale. But I'm going to scrape the blue and the grey off and start again with those because They are a bit too dry. Where's me roll? Oh, I've lost my blue roll of paper. How do you do that? Well, I've got a white roll here. Just to wipe that off. And squeeze a bit more out. Come on, where's my roll of paper? Who's nicked it? It's okay piling a lot of paint out when you're doing a knife painting, but not so good with brush paint. Oh, it's fallen off. Excuse me while I retrieve it. Yeah, it's all unravelled. It was a big roll not so long ago, it's a small roll now. Right, oh, Payne's grey. Tone and texture. That's coming on. We need to beef it up a bit with some dark green in some of that. So here we go. So a bit of a better colour, and when that dries off a little bit, we'll put a bit of a light back in there, light green. It's only I only do impressions. I have done lots of detailed trees, but if I can find an easier way to do something, rather than painstakingly put everything in, I will. Oh, let's get a bit of shadow behind that now. Whoops. I'll put some trunks in there. It's too much light in those trees. We need some counter change. I should start off with a dark tree really. Right, now we'll put in some light greens. Yeah, that's a bit better. By the time I've got some twigs and branches in that will show up quite nice, I hope. But I just want to undercut that tree there with a bit of that sky colour. Now, when I clean up, I clean these in, oh, I forgot my tea, in dishwasher liquid. Oh, I forgot my tea, didn't I? Right, a touch of ochre, and bit of red, bit of white. Just open that up a little bit there. Just merge that. We've got a bit of blue-white there. Just trying to soften that with some bluer sky behind. Okay, well let that go for a minute. We'll put in the trees as we go. Let's alter this foreground a little bit of oil. It's getting nice and bright, eh? It's got a bit of orange. Just get that little bit of real good yellowy counter change there a little bit. Right, that'll do. Okay, now some red and a bit of that ochre. Bit of light. The light coming through there. So we want the light and in there showing through, and so a bit of a mauvey green. clean the brush and then just blend a little bit of that. I can feel some poppies coming on, some little white flowers in there. I do quite a lot of meadows, but I like them, and I know some of you do. It's the texturing which adds so much to these sort of things. Creating an illusion of detail without putting labels and everything. Oh, okay, that's a bit of red. Bit of yellow, maybe poppies, very nice sort of poppy colour. Poppy meadow. The grandchildren next door are enjoying themselves. It's a lovely day now. It's going to be quite nice in London. Oh, let's have a few blue ones. Some cornflowers. You seem to get them in meadows, don't you? Don't overdo it. Right, let's work on that tree now. I'll get a okay, I'll use my rigger. Now this could be quite tricky. I need my mastic. My wife made that years and years and years ago. Look, it's chamois leather with some padding. It's to go on the dry bit of paint, but we haven't got any dry bit of paint, so we'll put that on there. Rest it on the tab. We'll have a dark green, or shall we have a lighter green? A bit of light just catching. See, what that does, it opens up all that solid painting. It adds a bit of air to it. But we don't want to do too much of it. Right, let's just see, it's completely transformed that tree now. You can see the light coming through onto those trunks. Right, let's have a bit of paint to come up here, just a sort of highlight. I might have done too much there. I think they're probably better with the lighter green. Now remember, your tree's got to be heavy enough to hold up all that foliage, tons of it. Right, I'm going to just stipple in a little bit of stuff in over that bit there, bit of really light yellow. I'll get a better brush for that. I think a little stipple brush. No, not that one. I'll just snip that off. Just snip the end of that off. Okay, so just a bit of light yellow. Some light coming through the trees. Lovely hearing the kids play. Right, and a little bit of darker green in there. Okay, just want to use that base. Okay, I think that is not strong enough there. That's a blue-grey. So let's get a bit of a darker bit in there. Right, we don't want to be too heavy in this area here. Enough to change the there for a bit of lighter stipple. Okay, well, that's taken longer than I thought. 40 minutes. Okay, I'll put that in a frame, in my black frame, which I just tarted up. I just went the I put that on some yellow ochre. Look at this. That's the back of that board. I think I'll throw that when I start again. Clean the fingers. Okay. Remove the tape from the back of the board. Gotcha. for a moment. Well, I just remove that and just prepare the table for this here. I can rest the frame on there now. Right, okay, just turn the frame over. And put this one back. Couple of little pins. Just so they don't fall out. And end up face down on the carpet, one of the carpet tiles. Another little meadow. Okay, well, I hope you like that one. It's all counter change, light against dark. And here I work with, yeah, that's okay. That tree's right. Bit round, a bit bulbous, but soften that. It's a bit obvious there. Okay, can put a little bit of light back in there. Right, okay, that's it. Right, there you are, folks. So I'll go and get this uploading, and I'll come back with another one. I'll take a photograph of it, and then I'll do one for Patreon. Thanks for looking. Bye bye.